So I was thinking about this the other day. Through years of debate and such, like I'm convinced that liberals actually hate minorities more than people like myself who are ethno-nationalists do. Like I don't give a shit what goes on really with blacks and all that. Like I just don't want to live near them or be near them. Like once I have that, I don't care. Like I really don't care what the hell they do in wherever, like down in Africa. Like seriously, it could be the greatest country in the world. I don't care. I'm not going there. I just don't want to be around them. But for liberals, like they import them in and they constantly put them in situations where it doesn't work or it's not going to work, and then they double down on it and further do it more. And after a while, the incompetence argument doesn't really work for me. Like, you know, if they're constantly failing them that much, then that means they don't want them to succeed or whatever, or be whatever. And then you start looking at the Dems history with the Ku Klux Klan and the Confederacy and all that, and you start wondering, maybe they want to get them to fuck up and be such screw up so bad that they hope white people will finally have enough and get rid of them. Like that's really what I think it is, because that's the only explanation. And it's not even just with them, it's with blacks and Muslims and all that too. Like they know we can't stand this, and I think they really just keep importing them all to get us to act on it. And I'll say this: if the Dems and the left really love all these minorities and all that so much, I mean, look at the education system. It's blacks have not been doing well in it, and instead they double down on the same things that the blacks don't do well on, and the Muslims and Hispanics. Places like Baltimore, there's not one person who can pass both English and math, so they keep going into the same policies, and it's like maybe they just want to destroy them. Then you look at the bigger liberal cities, like they price them out so no one could ever live there. Like I'll never be able to live in New York or California or something like that. Can't afford that shit. And you know damn well blacks can't either because they make even less. Same with a lot of the minorities. Yeah, they'll put them in public housing or some shit, but if you get rid of 1,000 or a couple million, what's giving them a couple houses here and there? Nothing. So I mean, to me, it just seems like the overall end game is to get him here, get him as dumb as possible, and then um, make sure that whites have no choice but to do something about it and put a stop to it, and then they'll be happy and celebrate. And when you hear them call people like Candace Owens a black white supremacist, like you know that there's no love for blacks there. And if they really think that they're gonna have all these like Mexican slave wages and dumb people and all that, and they're gonna be able to control them, they need to think again because dumb people don't vote. Dumb people fucking fight. And if they're gonna make minorities the majority here, and they keep struggling, they're just gonna fucking go after everyone, and the Dems are gonna force to line up with the right to defend themselves. And maybe that's what they want. I don't know, but or you could have a situation where, like in California, where unless you're Mexican, you can't win. So, once they have enough Mexicans, why should they even be Dem? Like, okay, if they have enough numbers, why do they need the Dems? They don't. They could just form their own party and they can have whoever they want and centralize the power. And then what are the Dems going to do? Just really poor long-term planning, and I really don't think they've thought all this out through. And it really is all about power for them. So, I mean, And I also wanted to add, like, at least for us on the right, like, it's not that we even like dislike them that much, but it's just like they constantly fuck up, and we don't think they're savable. And we wouldn't mind helping them if we could, but we don't think it's really worth the effort, and we don't think it's possible. And so it's like why bother? And we really hate the worst of it for sure. I mean, there's some decent ones out there like Jesse Lee Peterson and all that, but at least for us, I think it's more of just an annoyance and being tired of dealing with a culture that doesn't work with us, and especially with Hispanics. Like, we're not going to save them or fix them. Like, we know that, and it's not even worth the fight for us. But whatever. If we were, if we had our ethno state and everything was all good here, and we'd make it perfect, and I know we would. If we had that, maybe we wouldn't care so much about helping. We'd be happy to take the power in other places and show them a way. It's not an issue with that. But the Dems, they know what the way isn't, and that's the way they keep guiding them. Like they keep guiding them over that cliff that has a long wait on, with no road. But for us, it's like, we want to get us to the top of the mountain, and then we won't mind throwing some feed and shit and money from the top, but we have to get our mountain peak first, and we aren't really getting that. So until we can get our shit together, we're not really as worried about the rest. But I guarantee you, if any other minority or whatever follows our path, they'll see the same path to success because, that's how the world works, and our way does work, and it will always work, but the Dems way never will.